Tonight we don't have a very big agenda. We're just trying to take this opportunity to show a solidarity towards each other and to make a display of solidarity to people out in the industry who think that oftentimes that they can take advantage of us, that we're not going to be sticking together. And I think that we've shown through our recent events like the commemoration of the Battle of Ballantine, which Brother Naz is going to, and Farrell are going to talk about in a few minutes, that we've shown that we can get together, we can stick together, and that in the face of opposition, the ILWU is always as solid as one force, and we're going to stay that way. Good
evening, brothers and sisters. Like Brother Dufresne said, the Battle of Ballantine March was a sign to the employers that we are not divided, that we marched down there, all the locals, together, and it warms my heart to know that we can rally the troops, get together when we need to. And that was over something good. So if it was over something bad, I think that would be tenfold would show up for that. And that is great to see.
No piece is greater than the whole. No local is greater than the union. And no employer is going to divide us, and no employer is going to tell us when we're going to fight. We're going to tell them when it's time to fight. And I know I've been reporting at all our meetings that the time for us to fight in some of the ways that we like to fight or are used to fighting, it hasn't been the right time. So we've kept our cool. And by keeping our cool, we've taken a lot of the ammo out of the employer in a sense that they've wanted us to react to a lot of things they've done. Tom's reported about how they've haven't really been at the table of bargain. He's reported about the human rights complaint, how it's trying to pit one against another. I'm going to speak a bit about mandatory retirement. And when you think about our history and over 50 years of us understanding and living with retiring at the normal age of 65 and having to deal with that change, it's a dramatic change for us. And it's a hard change for us because, after all, most of us, it's something that we're not only used to and feel we should do, because make room for the next generation, for the guys that are coming up, we want to get them a spot. But having said that, there's times that are changing, everyone's against us, and we have to be smart about what we do. So we have to sometimes look at the change, accept the change, and move forward that way together, and not be fighting with each other about it, because after all, if we do that, that's just going to throw a little fuel in the fire of the BCMEA. Over the years, I mean, have you ever really known the employer to fight for your cause? Unbelievable, I think. But again, we can't let this stuff fester. We can't respond to that stuff with our emotions. We have to respond to that stuff with our heads, and we have to look at the big picture and say, what's the best thing, what's the best interest for this union as a whole? And certainly it wouldn't be the way that the employer wanted us to go, I'm certain of that, but it's the way that is right for us. So we had to look at those issues. In our local, I sent out a bulletin stating our position at the time. ILWU Canada sent a letter to the BCMEA stating the position of the union and how the BCMEA was in violation of a lot of different things.
Thank you. I'd like to call up two brothers from Local 500, Phil Briglio and John Jacobs. If you'd come up, please. We're going to make a presentation for our brothers and sisters in 502. I'll give you a little background information. On May 19th, we had a fatality at Seaboard, and forgive me, I'm still a little emotional about it. Our brother, Kevin Lowe's, he drowned when the lift truck he was driving fell off a scow ramp. The scow ramp turned on its side, and he was in a machine. He went in the water. He ultimately drowned. But these two brothers went above and beyond the call of duty, and they did everything they could to try and save Kevin. But it was deep water. John jumped in the water, tried to swim in the water. It was dark, it was raining, it was a terrible day, and they were unsuccessful. But for their efforts, we'd like to present them with an ILWU jacket tonight.
got a smaller one,
Thank you.
All right, I think what you guys should first do is give yourself an applause, because without you showing up to that event, it wouldn't have happened, right? Manny, are you out there, Manny Boutar? And Tom Dorn. Is Tom Dorn out there? Okay, Manny says he'll scoop it. It says, in appreciation, this certificate is presented to acknowledge your hard work on the Battle of Ballantyne Memorial Project, June 18th, 2010. Brother Manny Boutar, the commitment you have shown your union is proof that brothers like yourself can only make this ILWU stronger. Thanks from the ILWU Canada. That's it, Tom.
We had the IRCA report, the one that slags, not only did it slag Indo-Canadians, but it said, with respect to training, that we as longshoremen are hard to train. We're half blind. Now, with respect to, do we have any trainers here? I didn't know you were half blind training the fully blind. And that was the description they gave. So, since the CIRB ruling, where we were ruled to have been illegally striking, we've had 5 additional requests for late gang. So now it's become a game with the employer 5 more times. So I think what they're trying to do is ambush me and Reno and have us tossed under the bus. But we've had to give them those gangs on the 5 other times. Otherwise, I can't imagine what they would do. One of the problems that I've had personally, in the last 3.5 years, I've been under an arbitrator's gag order. I've been involved with a 42-day arbitration on gender discrimination, where one of our sisters has an ongoing issue with Western stevedoring. And I have not been able to speak for 3.5 years. I haven't been able to respond to the newspaper articles that were appearing. And the arbitrator, we are waiting desperately for him to finally write his answer, so I'll be free to respond to a lot of these attacks that, we're a bunch of savages working on the Vancouver waterfront. And it must be a slow day for the Vancouver Sun when they run those kind of articles. But I'll have my day. I don't know when, but when that arbitrator finishes the report, I'll be able to respond to all those things.